Hey, and welcome to Parent Room. My name is Teacher Sheila. So I want to welcome you all. In this platform, we talk about issues that are affecting our teenagers. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and let us grow together. Today, I'm handling an issue that has affected most of our teenagers nowadays, and that is sexual addiction. Now, when we talk about sexual addiction, this is whereby our teenagers are engaging in sex, and when you look at that type of sexual behavior, it is one that they cannot manage and they can also not control. So it becomes an addiction at the point where the behavior controls them. And you find that for most of our teenagers, they don't have a platform to go out there and explore their sexuality and have partners freely and live with those partners in the same houses, and yet they have already been addicted to sex. So what is going to happen? What will happen is that these teenagers, whenever they don't have a platform to go and explore sex with their partners, they're going to engage in other sexual behaviors that are not the conventional man and woman, but they lead to sexual excitement. So that is exactly what I want us to look at today, to explore. And I also want to encourage you to go and look out for those things in your teenager, because they could actually be engaging in sexual activities other than the normal boy and girl, and by that they could actually lead to self-harm, and even they could harm others around them, that is their siblings and relatives and even neighbors and people who they have access to. So what are these other sexual behaviors that we're talking about? The first one, and obviously the most known, is pornography. So our teenagers nowadays are exposed to so much pornography. For the sake of this video, I'm going to define pornography as any image or video or material out there that excites our teenagers sexually. So as we all know, nowadays the images of nude people, or nudity in general, has been embraced so much. It can even be found on mainstream television and everywhere else. So when you talk about pornography, it is something that excites our teenagers sexually, and therefore most of them will go into these sites, look out for videos of sex videos, and look at them in with the motive of trying to achieve that sexual fulfillment. Now again, when you talk about sexual sites, please watch out. Not all of them are basically pornography. They're not pornographic related in terms of packaging and the title and everything. So you might find actually that when you look at the call history or the browsing history, your child has looked at sites with the very childish and very mild names and very subtle names, things like cocoa melon, chocolate, ice cream, and you think that they were actually looking at those things, when in essence those are pornographic sites which have been named in a way that is not alarming, especially to an adult when you're trying to supervise what your child is doing online. So pornography is one of the major ways in which our youths nowadays, our teenagers, are actually engaging in sexual activities. Then of course followed closely by pornography is masturbation. And masturbation is whereby your child touches themselves in a way that is going to excite them sexually and give them that sexual fulfillment. Now again, this is something that is very hard for you to to supervise or to follow up on, because the child is actually doing it with themselves. Now in some cases they are going to do them openly and you're going to easily find out, but in others they're going to do it in secrecy, and especially when you find that your child is trying to be withdrawn, having a lot of trying to fight for a lot of privacy, this might actually be the reason why. So masturbation in most cases ends well, but in extreme cases where it has now become an addiction, is going to actually case your child in, and they're going to be trying to do it all the time, and sometimes it can actually harm them. I know I've heard of a case where a boy in a certain country was masturbating 56 times in a day, and he actually had a heart attack and he died. So you see, as like such extreme cases might actually harm your child. So masturbation is something that is going on a lot in this new generation of teenagers, and therefore it is something else that you must actually look out and see the signs of that. And then something else we have is cyber sex. This is whereby they go online and they text each other, and they talk about sexual stuff and things that are exciting them sexually. So you might actually think that your child is online, maybe doing something or chatting with a friend, but they're actually having sex online. So that's something else that is happening a lot. And I don't know, it is something that you as a parent can control by watching out for the friends that your teenage is engaging in, and things like that. Then we have bestiality. This is whereby your teenager is going to try and have sex with an animal. So cows, goats, donkeys, horses, chicken, any animal that is in the immediate surrounding that they can easily access. Some of the teenagers actually try and have sex with them. So again, it's something that you should be on the lookout. If you see them in a compromising situation, or if someone sees them, or if you're suspecting, you must actually watch out, because your teenager could actually be having sex with an animal. And then we have indecent sexual behavior. This is where it's also called indecent exposure. Your child is actually touching people in a way that is inappropriate, and this happens especially with the younger people. So you find that if you have your teenager in the house and you've instructed them to take care of the younger ones, they're touching them in a way that is not decent, kissing them in the mouth, touching their private areas, and doing things that are actually do not look normal to a person who's taking care of a child. So that's another way in which they use to express themselves sexually. And then of course we have the rape, the incest, and the child molestation. I'm sure you've had enough of this with our teenagers nowadays. They'll be raping younger people, the weaker ones. They will be molesting children. They'll be having sex among themselves in the home, with their siblings. And that is something that you cannot easily tell, because if you're not there all the time, you'll not be able to know what is going on with your teenager when you've left them back at home. So parents, please be aware, sex is not only with a sexual partner. There are so many other things that our teenagers are doing for sexual gratification. I hope this is going to be helpful to you as you try to lead your teenager in the right way. Please don't forget to subscribe. I do a lot of content on teenagers and teenage problems that you're facing nowadays, and ways that you're going to solve them. So subscribe, help our channel to grow, so that we can actually be able to help our teenagers as they're growing up into adults, to be more responsible in everything that they're doing. Thank you for sitting here with me. I love you so much. I hope to see you next time. Have a lovely day, and bye.